Hey there, my name's David and you're watching the RealReal. I resell part-time on Poshmark, Mercari, Depop, eBay, and the RealReal. And today I have a what sold video for you from the week of April the 9th through April the 15th. If you want to supercharge your sourcing and find out what you should be picking up when you're at a thrift store, then what sold videos are a great way to do that. I'm going to let you know what items I picked up, what items sold, how much I picked them up for, where I picked them up, how much profit I make. I go over all the details in this video, and I make a video like this every week. So if you haven't done so already, please make sure to subscribe, hit that bell icon, that way you're notified every time I upload a new video, and also like, comment, and share this video. I really appreciate it. This week was actually looking pretty average when I was doing my tallies, but then I remembered one more platform that I'm using that made up for a significant amount of sales. I'll discuss that later on in the video. Let's get straight into it. The first day we're talking about is April the 9th. I had 3 Poshmark sales. The first was a Romeo Giggly vintage metallic blue fleece sheer leggings size 42. They sold for $30. After Poshmark's fees, I received $24. I paid $1 for this at a consignment store just because they had it on a rack with a bunch of dollar items. And so my profit was $23. I'd never heard of this label before. Apparently it's sort of an old school designer label from Italy. These have a very unique sort of pleating detail that you'll often hear referred to as plisse, P-L-I-S-S-E, that some designers like Issey Miyake are very famous for. This type of fabric travels very well, so people do tend to seek it out. Even if you don't have an Issey Miyake piece, fleece items can occasionally command a decent amount of money. What was super interesting about this one as well is that it sold in less than a day, and in fact a matter of just a few hours. The next item that sold on Poshmark was a vintage 80s Playboy red black mustard oversized graphic sweater size large. It sold for $30, and after Poshmark's fees I received $24. I paid $5 for this at a Salvation Army, so my total profit was $19. I'd heard that vintage Playboy can do well. This was my first time finding it, and it did sell fairly quickly, a matter of a couple of weeks. The next item was a Flying Tomato off-shoulder midi faux wrap ruffle dress size large, new with tags. It sold for $20. After Poshmark's fees, I received $16, and I paid $8 for this at Goodwill, so my profit was $8. Not a high profit, but this brand, you would be very stressed to sell it for much more than a couple of tens of dollars. And I had that dress forever. I thought it was so nice, but it took forever to sell. And eventually just someone sent me a $20 offer and I said, please take it off my hands. The next day was the 10th. I had 1 Poshmark sale, 1 Depop sale, 1 eBay sale, and 1 RealReal sale. On Poshmark, I sold a COS cotton blue poplin A-line dress size 8. It sold for $25. After Poshmark's fees, I received $20. I paid $8 for this at Goodwill, so my profit was $12. COS is a brand that I personally like a lot. They make cool sort of minimalist pieces out of really nice materials, and they're actually owned by H&M. They're an upscale sort of H&M. But in terms of the resale value of COS, it can vary. So definitely check comps whenever you're trying to pick up a piece by COS. The next item was on Depop, and it was actually a bundle. I don't think I've ever sold a bundle before on Depop. It was a pair of Levi's vintage micro mini denim shorts, and also a pair of Dickies 90s destroyed straight jeans. And the bundle sold for $65. I do offer free shipping on Depop, so taking into account Depop's fees and the cost to ship, I received $44.30. I paid $10 in total for those items, so my total profit was $34.30. The next item was on eBay. It was a vintage 90s Oshkosh Bagosh blue faded denim chore jacket size medium. It sold for $35. After eBay's fees, I received $28.56, and I paid about $2.50 for this at a Family Thrift Center outlet, so my total profit was $26.06. The buyer for this item had sent me a message saying that they wanted to give it to their wife as an anniversary present, and they left me a review and said that they loved it. That was a nice Nice wrap up for that. And my RealReal sale, it was a Jean Paul Gaultier 1990s vest. That's how the RealReal defined it. And it sold for $476. Taking into account the RealReal's commission structure, I will be receiving $295 from that sale. I actually paid up for this item. I purchased it on Poshmark a while back, initially for reselling, but also thinking maybe I'll keep it for myself, but I never wore it, so I paid $170.69 for the item. That was $150 plus shipping and taxes. So my total profit on that item was $124.31. I think this is an example of something that is a really great thing to send into the RealReal, just because I highly doubt that I would have gotten $476 for this on my own if I sold it. I probably would have listed it, had it for like 12 months with no movement, and someone would eventually send me an offer for like $110, and I'd be in the red since I paid $170 for that. But because the RealReal has a large customer base, they're able to find buyers much more than I am, and they were able to sell it for a really great price, and still to the point where I'm getting a pretty decent profit, especially if you consider that I didn't have to do anything other than send that item in. The next day was the 11th. I had 3 Poshmark sales. The first Poshmark sale was a bundle. It was actually technically 2 bundles, but it was the same buyer for both of them. And I sent them a message saying, hey, can we just split these between 2 bundles? Just because if not, there's going to be like a 16-pound box. And I'm going to have to pay up for shipping, and it's not going to be worth it. So they agreed. So I actually sold them 2 individual bundles. The items that were in those bundles was a Dickies vintage workwear overalls and a New Balance 574 sport shoe sneakers, a pair of Timberland boots, and a Territory Ahead graphic print shirt. The bundle in total sold for $130, and taking into account Poshmark's fees, I received $96.03. I paid $44 for all those items in total, so my total profit was $52.03. I gave a pretty serious discount considering how much I had these items listed for, but all of them were actually items that had been listed in my closet for a while and had little to no movement, so I was happy to get rid of a lot of stale inventory at once. The next sale on Poshmark was a Lululemon Commission Golf Career Pants size 38. They sold for $45. After Poshmark's fees, I received $36, and I paid $8 for these at Goodwill, so my total profit was $28. I would still say that Lululemon for men is a bolo. It tends to sell very well for me. Lululemon women, total toss of the coin, but men's does sell consistently and fairly quickly. I think I had those listed for probably about 2 weeks. The next item was a Aloe Yoga Afterglow Athleisure Mesh Sheer Crop Top size large. It sold for $22. That was an offer from FLYP that was sent to a liker with reduced shipping included. So after Poshmark's fees, I received $15.58. I paid $4 for that top at a charity shop, so my total profit was $11.58. The next day was Wednesday the 12th. I had 2 Poshmark sales and 1 Mercari sale. The first item that sold on Poshmark was a Scotch and Soda Burgundy Graphic Tee size large new with tags. It sold for $30. After Poshmark's fees, I received $24, and I paid about $6 for this at Goodwill, so my total profit was $18. Scotch and Soda is a great brand for things like outerwear and possibly denim, but I had this t-shirt for effer. It says something in French. I believe it translated to no more bets. I don't know if that's clever or not. The next item that sold on Poshmark was a Vivia Aurora cream pointed toe bow knit heels size 7.5. They sold for $72. That was an offer from FLYP as well that was sent to the liker with reduced shipping. So after Poshmark's fees, I received $55.58. I paid $12 for these at a family thrift center, so my total profit was $43.58. It's interesting because I had never heard of this brand before. This was actually the first pair of shoes that I ever picked up by them, and they appear to be sort of a slightly lower price Rothy's. They are still fairly expensive retail, but a lot of their shoes are machine washable and they are fabric knit style shoes from recycled plastic, so a lot of the same sort of MO as Rothy's. But for instance, Poshmark does not have Vivaya as a listed brand, and a lot of the other platforms that I checked also don't. But I have had two pairs of them so far, and they've both sold in a decent amount of time for a pretty decent profit. I actually just found another pair of shoes today that I just listed, so we'll see how soon those sell. I would say that it is a bolo. The next item was on Mercari, and it was a vintage 80s Alberto Macaulay strong shoulder collar dark olive green blazer size 8. It sold for $56. After Mercari's fees, I received $37.51. The reason being because I include free shipping on Mercari as well. I just absorb it into my overall sale price. I paid $10 for this blazer at Goodwill, so my total profit was $27.51. I typically don't pick up Alberto Mercari. It is accepted by the RealReal, but they don't price it high at all. And I feel like there's a lot of it out there, and prices range from $5 to a couple hundred maybe for really interesting pieces. But this was definitely a style pickup. I thought the oversized collar was very vintage, but also very on trend. This type of stuff is very on trend. And it did sell fairly quickly in a matter of a few weeks. I definitely had the advantage of having a mannequin. I don't think it would probably look very good on just a hanger. The next day was Thursday the 13th. I had one Poshmark sale and two eBay sales. My Poshmark sale was a 3.1 Philip Lim Trompe l'Oeil. My French is not good. Dress size 0. It's sold for $40. After Poshmark's fees, I received $32. I paid $8 for this at Goodwill, so my total profit was $24. I think I'm going to cool off on picking up 3.1 Philip Lim. The couple of times I picked it up, it always takes ages for it to sell. On that note as well, though, this is a size 0, so probably shouldn't pick up super tiny sizes either, unless they are very, very, very expensive and the type of things that I could send into the RealReal. The next sale was on eBay, and it was a J. Crew Menorca Puffy Slingback Sandals in Camel, new without tag, size 6. It sold for $60. After eBay's fees, I would receive $51.75. I paid about $12 for these at a family thrift center, so my total profit was $39.75. The next item was a Raquel Allegra merino wool cashmere tie-dye destroyed gray sweater size 3. It sold on eBay for $12. After eBay's fees, I received $8.81. I paid $2 for this at a family thrift center outlet, so my total profit was $6.81. Not a high profit at all, but I initially actually bought this for myself, and then I just never wore it. And I priced it pretty low just because it had very extensive pilling, it had stains, it had holes apart from the distressing, so I didn't really expect to get much from it at all. Raquel Allegra is a expensive label retail, but comps were all over the place. I am satisfied that it, at the very least, did sell fairly quickly. The next day was Friday the 14th. I had 4 Poshmark sales and I had 1 RealReal sale. My first Poshmark sale was a Marc by Marc Jacobs ivory pebbled leather crossbody mini bag in cream. It sold for $50. After Poshmark fees, I received $40, and I paid about $28 for this at a Crossroads. So my total profit was $12. I think I had just come off of a couple of good Marc by Marc Jacobs sales, and I thought, ooh, here's another one, let me throw it in the bag. No, this one took forever to sell. Marc by Marc Jacobs, incredibly style dependent, make sure to check comps. The next sale was a Fabiana Pigna contrast kicka top in black and yellow gingham. It sold for $63. That was an offer sent to the liker by FLYP. After Poshmark's fees, I received $48.38. I paid $6 for this top at Goodwill, so my total profit was $42.38. I don't know anything about this label. I think it's accepted at the RealReal, but they don't price it well. And I probably had that listed for about 4 or 5 months, but when it sold for a really great price. The next item to sell was a Sitka Gear Back 40 outdoor pant in gray size 36. It sold for $52. After Poshmark's fees, I received $39.58. I paid $8 for this at Goodwill, so my total profit was $31.58. Really satisfied with this sale. I'd never heard of this brand before, but I think it might be kind of like Filson in that it's an outdoor hunting brand and it is really expensive. I probably had those listed for a bit longer than I typically do with Filson, but they still sold in a matter of a few weeks. I'd say Sitka, definitely a bolo, had a really good resale rate on eBay as well. The next item to sell was a Free People Cruisin' Together printed crossover top size small. It sold for $31. That was an offer sent to the liker by FLYP. So after Poshmark's fees, I received $22.78. I paid $6 for this at Goodwill, so my total profit was $16.78. Had that forever. All I'm going to say about that. The RealReal sale was a pretty weak one. It was a United Arrows V-neck sweater. It sold for $30. Based off of the RealReal's commission structure for a sale that low, I received $6. Thankfully, I only paid about $3 for this at a Salvation Army thrift store on a half off day, so my total profit was $3. Not a great profit, but nothing of value was lost. Last day we're talking about is the 15th, Saturday. My first sale, love this sale. It's a Rothy's The Point Toe Knit Flats in navy blue size 6.5. It sold for $80. After Poshmark's fees, I received $64, and I paid $20 for these in the boutique section of Goodwill, so my total profit was $44. The moment I saw these, I knew they were in great condition. I checked them over, tried to compare them to some online pictures just to make sure that they were real, and they sold fairly quickly, even though they are a pretty small size. So I'd say Rothy's, obvious bolo, even the smaller stuff or the larger sizes will still sell well and quickly. The next sale was a Birkenstock Atacama Futura black sandals size 11. They sold for $60. After Poshmark's fees, I received $48. I paid $20 for these at a charity shop, so my total profit was $28. Birkenstock, definite bolo, usually sells very well. I think I paid a little much for these, but on that note, I still made a decent profit on it. The next item that sold on Poshmark was a Burberry blue suit jacket size 40R, and it sold for $100. After Poshmark's fees, I received $80. I paid $15 for this at Goodwill, so my total profit was $65. This was a really exciting sale just because I had had that for a while, and I had actually sent it in to the RealReal, but they wanted to price it at like $85, and that would mean I would get nothing when it sells. So I was pretty pleased after I requested it back that it finally sold. It's been probably about 3 or 4 months since I asked for that item back, but glad that it's finally moving on, and for a very good price if I say so myself. The last item to sell on Poshmark was a Talbot's Gingham Cotton Blend T-length belted ruffle sleeve tiered dress, size 12. It sold for $45. After Poshmark's fees, I received $36, and I paid $8 for this dress at Goodwill, so my total profit was $24. I only had that dress actually for a couple of weeks, but I picked it up because it was gingham, which is a great sort of fabric when it comes to the summer season, and I thought this looks like it could fit in very well at an Easter party, which is upcoming, along with wedding parties, any kind of garden party really. I thought would look good, so I was willing to pick it up. Talbots I tend to stay away from, but I'm slowly learning to get a little more comfortable with certain items in larger sizes. Now, I have 3 RealReal sales that all occurred on Friday, and they are pretty exciting, I would say. So the first sale was one I was super excited about. It was a Chrome Hearts Square glasses, and they sold for $476. Based off of the RealReal's commission structure, I'm going to receive $295 from that sale, and I paid $17 for them, So my total profit was $278. That's a sensational profit. I actually only paid $2 for these. At a charity shop, there was this bin that had a bunch of glasses inside, and these had a sticker on them that said that they were $2 or $3. And they were prescription lenses. So I actually took them to a flea market stand where this guy replaces glasses with lenses, and he has a machine and everything to sort of sand down the edges of glass and whatnot to fit certain lenses. And I asked him to do it, and he only charged me $15 since it was just plain glass that I had him put in them and not prescription lens. So I accounted for that in my cost of goods, just because the RealReal said that they would not accept prescription lens glasses. Probably my best profit of the week, and probably my best profit in a long time. Really happy with that. It doesn't always happen. Sales like that don't happen all the time, but when they do, greatly appreciate it. The next sale was a St. John Sport blazer. It sold for $49. Based off of the RealReal structure for commission, I'm going to receive $10. I paid $7 for that blazer, so I made $3 on that sale. I'm excited about that one because I hated that blazer. I don't know why I picked it up. It was the ugliest shade of orange. I would not be surprised if a customer returns it just because it's ugly in person too. Hopefully it sticks. And the last sale I'm going to talk about for the RealReal is a Bottega Veneta Intrecciato weave leather mules. They sold for $325.50. Based off of the RealReal's commission structure, I'll receive $202 from that sale. I paid up for these. I actually bought them on Poshmark for $107.16. So my total profit on those was $94.84. I knew that this woven pattern is a Bottega Veneta staple, but that it's very on trend as well. It's one of their house signatures that they're really well known for. So when I saw them pretty moderately priced on Poshmark, I thought there's room for me to make some profit here. So I scooped them up, sent them in, and they have now sold. Time to summarize my sales from all the individual platforms, starting with Poshmark. On Poshmark, my total revenue was $925. After Poshmark's fees, I received $721.93. I paid about $215 in cost of goods for Poshmark, so my total profit on Poshmark alone was $502.93. On Depop, I sold 2 items in a bundle for $65. After Depop's fees and the cost to ship the items, I receive about $44.30. I paid $10 for the items on Depop, so my total profit was $34.30. On Mercari, I made $56 in revenue. After Mercari's fees and the cost to ship the items, I received $37.51. I paid about $10 for the item that sold on Mercari, so my total profit was $27.51. On eBay, I sold $107 worth of revenue. After eBay's fees, I received $89.12. I paid about $16.50 for the items that sold on eBay, so my total profit on eBay was $72.62. On the RealReal, it was a pretty exciting week. This is definitely not the regular situation with the RealReal. I had total revenue of $1,356.50. After the RealReal's commission structure takes out a pretty big chunk of that money, I received $808. I did pay up for a lot of those items that went to the RealReal, so my total cost of goods was $304.85. But my total profit on the RealReal was $503.15. So now my grand total. On all of the platforms combined, I did sell $2,509.50 in revenue. Based off of the RealReal's commission structure, the fees for shipping items, and the fees associated with all the different platforms, I received $1,700.86. The cost of goods for all items that sold on all platforms is $556.35. So my total profit for all platforms together is $1,140 $40.51. That's a really great profit. And as much as I don't like the changes that have come around with the RealReal, it really still makes sense for me to send certain items in. The items that I made $3 profits on, absolutely not. But for the other items, yeah, it's pretty much the reason that I made over $1,000 this time. Otherwise, I probably would have been in about the $600 range. Now, one platform that I feel sort of underperformed this week was eBay. I was getting used to having pretty consistent eBay sales, but this week I believe I actually only had 3. And I have been listing consistently. I met my 5 listings per day goal for this week as well. So I'm wondering what may be going on with eBay. Something else that I've considered recently is eBay's promotional opportunities, where it says that they will take a higher payout from your sale, but that they will promote your item. I currently do not have any promoted listings on eBay. I'm pretty much just going off of luck, but I'm curious to hear what you all may suggest. Do you perhaps use the eBay promoted listing feature? If so, do you recommend it? I'm curious. I'm wondering if I should try it. But if you recommend it or if you don't recommend it, please let me know in the comments below. That's it for my video for this week. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to view my video, and please make sure that you are liking the video, commenting, sharing, and also that you are subscribed and hitting that bell icon. That way you're notified every week when I upload a new video. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. I hope you have a fantastic sales week. See ya. So I want to share with you guys a really sweet review that I received that I was actually super impressed by this review. It was if there was a dissertation on how to write the perfect review, or the review to make a seller feel amazing, this is it. This guy must have a PhD in review writing. But it was for that kilt that I sold last week. First time I ever sold a kilt. Was a little bit nervous about it just because it did not have a size listed on the kilt, but I just made sure to take measurements and it appears it worked. I had listed as a size 34 and it sold, and I got a 5-star review, and the buyer stated, "Great condition and shipped properly. This kilt was well taken care of and I appreciate the chance to be the next owner. I would purchase from the seller again and recommend you do the same if you're ever on the fence about an item listed." Wow, that is so nice. I feel I feel a sense of responsibility now. I have to be incredible to live up to this guy's incredible review. But have you ever gotten a review that just made you smile or made your day? I know that I tend to really enjoy those, or if someone writes something negative, it tends to ruin my day as well. So if you ever had an experience like that, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. With that, that's all I got this week, so I'll catch you in the next one. I hope you have an amazing sales week. See ya.